What up? What up? What up, Dustin?
We're live.
We live. Guys, as you join in, you know the routine. Hashtag 10K Crappie Connection, guys. We are slowly getting there, but we're getting our goal. So as you join in, go
What
ahead
is
and
the goal?
comment 10,000, man,
All right,
on YouTube. So as
10K.
you join in, make sure you comment the 10K Crappie Connection. Let me know who's out there and where you at tonight, guys. It's going to be a good show. Looking
We
forward to it.
need some fishing reports. We've got a cold front pushed in here, and it's kind of changed everything up. So, what is y'all's fishing reports?
Mr. Kyle Davis coming on in. 10K. Appreciate that comment, Kyle. Chad Wright, my bud old Chad there. Like I said, guys, as you joining in, hook us up. 10K Crappie Connection.
Bo Donaldson, what is up?
Andrew Charles Henderson.
Here I am yawning already. You good?
Well, what is wrong with you,
I know.
Dustin? Man, the sun's still up. Beautiful day.
Seriously, I know. Tim Smith, what's going on? Cody from South Texas. How's the bite in South Texas?
Bud from YouTube. What's going on, Bud? Brad.
Carlos Willis, there he is.
It's been a fun week, man. Spring's here.
Oh man, no doubt. The spring weather is coming with it too, though.
I see Charles Henderson. He's joining in, and I gave out a hug to Charles this weekend at the magnet.
He just said that. He said, "Hey, Dustin, got my hug Saturday."
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
Charles. That's what I'm liking to hear right there. Charles got a hug.
Yeah, Charles got a hug, and man, he gives a big old bear hug too, and he's got a hat from it though.
Cody Bland said he ain't catching nothing. Well, Cody, we're here to fix that, brother. You listen up. We're here to fix that.
There's Nick, JJ, Jeff. Come on in, guys. Hit that comment, 10K Crappie Connection, and let's get today's bite rocking.
Yeah, Carlos, I feel you there. JJ Collins says he caught spawned out crappie on Enid, and then they're about halfway through their spawn. Boy, they're coming in. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Is wade fishing on Sardis or over with, or just starting? Who's wade fishing on Sardis? Anybody?
And Carlos, I know he can answer it. And John Mayo, he'll be on here. Tim Howe, I'm sure he will as well. They can going to give you some answers on that. Dustin, I kicked it off last week. My today's light. So let's hear it, bro.
All right. So we're still on Grand Lake. We're going to be running Grand Lake now throughout the summer mainly. We had a cold front push in. We were really starting to whack fish, starting to catch fish good on the bank, and still suspended out in the channel, the creek channels. So my suspended fish were kind of dwindling away a little bit. And then so I could tell that they were pushing up because I was just catching females and my males were leaving. And I thought, okay, it's about time for the bank. So we started fishing the bank a little bit. You would catch a good mess, but they weren't all pushed up yet and going hot and heavy. And then we got 30-degree weather at night for 2 or 3 days in a row. Dropped the temperature like 6 or 7 degrees in one day. And then I went back to the suspended fish, and they were just loaded out there. So it's like a pre-spawn pattern still. I think I've cleaned 1 out of a couple hundred females been spawned out. So they just were starting and then pushed back out. Caught a lot of males yesterday. So
what was your water temp? Did I miss that?
58 to 60.
Yeah.
We were 64 to 67. So it dropped it back down to 58 and 60 pre-spawn. They just pushed back out. And we're whacking them. Fish are super aggressive and hungry. And it seems like every fish you drop on, you're going to catch. And then the later the day gets, the pickier they get. But first thing in the morning, it is unreal at Grand. Brad Edgar says his fishing report's the same. Yeah, the cold weather here, we got a cold push, and it looks like I'm not expecting the spawn to be heavy and put those bobbers.
Hang tight with us, guys. We got a little glitch there.
I didn't even see that. But I'm thinking for the spawn, we still got at least a week and a half, 2 weeks is what I would guess. Because I'm looking at the weather ahead of time. And until we get really warm weather for 4 or 5 days in a row, it's not going to happen like it usually does here. And we've caught them as late as mid to late May. So it wouldn't surprise me if we got a couple more weeks before we start really cracking them on the bank. But for now, it's my favorite style of fishing. We're chasing them out there in open water, and it is fun. I'm really getting that brake system down I've got on my boat. Got people up there with a 15-foot rod. They're catching 4 or 5 per person and just rotating. And usually we're flying through some limits of really good fish, especially for Grand Lake. We've caught a lot of 2-pounders recently, and that's not heard of very well at Grand Lake. So it's doing super good. It's almost funny too. The first, I mean, I'm going to say I'll run 4 or 5 trips in a 100-yard circle. I mean, they're just that thick in there roaming. So been having a blast. Like I said, 15-foot rod. The color of the week is purple mist, purple monkey, just anything with purple gumdrop. I've been cracking them on purple colors. So that's my Grand Lake fishing report. Let's see what your Ross Barnett today's bite is.
You know, my today's bite, today I actually pulled jigs. I don't get the long line a whole lot this time of year just because, you know, Livescope's the biggest craze and it's fantastic to do. And today, you know, we had light winds and was really able to dial in a long line pattern that I didn't plan on today, but I had a customer get in and, you know, he wasn't really able to actually get up there and live scope and chase these open water suspended fish. So I reverted back to my.
We lost you there. He's probably still just rambling on.
I started out pulling.
There he is. You glitched out there for a minute.
All right, sorry.
Is it just me or is he glitching out, guys?
I see it glitching.
Okay.
Y'all hang tight, work with me.
Got you. Hey, it's got that Brad connection over there. You got to watch that crappy connection.
But I started out today pulling 218s because I've been used to these fish being a little bit deeper on the deep side of the ledges. I noticed that the fish were sitting on the top side of the ledge more than on the deep water side. So in turn, I started retying my jigs, put on 2 1/16ths, and we wind it up in about 4 hours catching 27 keepers, 2 fish that were pushing right at about 180, 185, really good fish. Yeah. And you know, I'm still catching some fish that haven't spawned out yet, and I'm catching some that are still in the mix of it, and I've caught some that are done spawning. Now, usually if we throw a fish in a live well, he will go ahead and color up, especially if you got females in the live well that are still holding eggs. Those males will throw on their tuxedo pretty well. But, you know, the spawn here on the Barnett still kicking. It's still probably fish in all mixes of the water column. I would say there's probably fish still on the bank. Now, I'm not a big bank fisherman, so I still always look for ledges. My color for the day is the infamous Grenada Gold.
Oh, and it's the stroller. Oh, that's what you used today when you were long lining.
That's what I used.
You're talking about two jigs. That brings me to one of the problems I've had at Grand Lake, and it's honestly I was telling you about it, but I have switched my top weight that I usually have to a dang jig, a big old heavy jig, and I have run into these fish are going past these jigs and hitting my weight. I've had that problem before. Usually I can slide it up out of the way and it's not a big problem. I was having it so bad that I was sliding that jig so far up and then fish were going past it and hitting it. So now I've switched to, because Grand Lake's cleared up a lot. So with my fishing report, I need to put in there that the water's cleared up a lot. That's why your natural, your purples, monkey milk, stuff like that starting to work a lot better. But these fish were going past anything I put on to hit the weight. So I've switched to double jigs setup, done a lot better with sniping. And then if the clients that not used to live scope very much, if they miss their target a little bit, that's where I was running into them coming up and hitting the weight. We switched to a jig, and now if they miss them a little bit, they'll just get hooked. So that was a little key to success this week.
Hang tight with it.
Oh, yeah, you still cutting out. Am I cutting out, or is it just you?
It probably is just me.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and we're going to show some today's fishing report.
There's Zeke Anderson. I thought I seen him in there commenting on there. Zeke, what's going on? Grand Lake problems. Yeah, you're right, Zeke. I think I've lost Brad completely. Okay, I'm not cutting out. Dustin, I appreciate that. Zeke, have you fished Grand Lake at all, or have you even been fishing recently? I got to get a fishing report from Zeke. I'm going to be seeing you next week, and we're going to be having a dang good time. Oh, Millwood. Millwood don't know what's coming, or does it? The first day of practice looks terrible. Yeah, appreciate that, Charles. And then Mr. Higgs, I seen that you said you were catching 70 to 100 every time you're going out. I've been loving the pictures you've been sending me and the messages. I appreciate you all. Look, man, my man just left me blue. Look at him. If I turn this way, no, other way. Looking at the blue. Yeah, he's gone. Hopefully he comes back in. But Nick picking up a new boat Sunday. What in the world? Did you sell your Bullet? You get one Sunday, you'll be cutting it close to get it ready for that Millwood tournament. But I'm sure you can do it. Yeah, Brad went blue man. He's the blue man band. Oh, Brad. We got a solid 10 minutes out of him anyway. I appreciate you all for still sticking with us. Never fished Grand, but Millwood is going to be a great time. Weather is not going to be fun. Zeke, you are not lying. Any wind on Millwood Lake will destroy you. If John Gathright is watching, we need a Millwood Lake update. He fishes it all the time, lives there on the ramp. Yes, Nick, I seen that your transom gave out. Golly, boat problems are no fun, especially as much as you use it. Gosh, how long does Brad expect me to keep this thing floating here? My shoulders are hurting. Any more fishing reports? I need some lakes, water temps, spawn, pre-spawn, post-spawn. How we all doing? Nick, I bet you don't have very many fishing reports if your dang boat's in the shop. Yeah. Yeah, what boat are you getting, Nick? Got the 73 SV going today. Hope to have a 93 with scope working more. John Breland. Okay, Brad commented on there and told y'all he's working on it. We'll see if he comes back. But hey, Zeke, I appreciate it, brother. John, once you get that thing hooked up, you'll never be the same. Oh my gosh. Nick DeWolf is getting the 521, not the 22. Okay, Travis. Good fishing report. He says another awesome day on Atoka in southeast Oklahoma. Water temp 66 to 72. Didn't find any shallow water fish. Caught them mostly on standing timber, all different depths of water. Quite a few trees had to make up. Quite a few trees. Oh, males up high. The females a little deeper. Man, appreciate y'all for commenting. I'm losing you there. Okay, curious of your thoughts on this. Male fins were beat up like they were fanning. Okay, Travis, here's my opinion on that. If you were catching fish off standing timber, even in 10 to 15, sometimes even Lake Fork, 20 foot of water, and those males were up shallow, they'll spawn on those trees. It sounds crazy, but I've caught fish even at Millwood here a couple weeks ago. I was catching fish that were fanning on top of stumps in 8 to 10 foot of water, and we were pulling a male and a female off of one stump. So they're spawning on the stump. So if the bank's not what they're looking for, or these stumps are just, I guess, a easier target for them, they'll stay out there in the water they like and just get higher up in that tree to the right water temperature, and they'll spawn on those stumps. So that's why you caught those males with the fanned out tail, or they went up in the bank and then you caught them coming off. But 9 times out of 10, they're on the stumps. You'll or spawning on the stumps. And if you notice, maybe you'll catch like 2 or 3 fish on that stump this time of year, and it's because you'll have a male and female paired up there. We did that several times at Millwood, and the eggs were running out of some of the females, and then the super shallow males were just beat up like crazy. Okay, John Mayo, somebody was asking if you could still wade at Sardis. It looks like you jumped on here. Grenada and Eden are both post-spawn. Lots of fish still in the bushes. Sardis and Butler are in full Oh, hang on a minute here. Everybody just commented all at once and kicked me out of that one. Sorry. Water temp 64 degrees at Lake Belton, Texas. Caught females done and females with eggs. So no more males shallow on the north end of the lake. Some south end. So they're about right in the middle of it, it looks like. Tough on Enid lately. Lots of fish in the bushes, John Mayo said. John, I appreciate it. It looks like I'm just... Okay, yeah. Brad completely disappeared on me now, but maybe he's working on it. Charles Henderson, I appreciate the question. The fish that were coming on button on you, he said he had at least 10 good crappie come on button today. And they really smashed it. What can you do to fix the problem? Charles, I would look at your hook first. What kind of hook are you using? I've got a few in mind that I could almost tell you what you're using if they were coming undone like that. But look at your hook, maybe switch your hook or profile your jig because they may be short striking you, and then you're barely getting them hooked. But stay on those fish. When you get one hooked and they come off, follow that fish, and usually they'll bite again. So don't lose hope on that. At Millwood, we literally bounced a couple fish off the boat trying to flip them in the boat. They bounced off, and we caught them again right after that. So, yeah, Travis, no problem, brother. Like I said, they will. Yeah, males up high and the females a bit deeper. That's exactly what happens on those stumps. They will spawn on them. So you were catching spawning fish, just a little deeper water. Yeah, Brad, I did. I moved to the driver's seat, y'all. I appreciate you guys sticking with us here. No doubt. And I appreciate the comments. Oh, Crappie Connection. Now Brad's undercover. He came in on the Crappie Connection, says hang tight. He's probably watching, getting a good kick out of this. I told him if he ever left me that I was going to accidentally leave too, but I can't leave you guys hanging like that. Southwest Missouri pre-spawn, a lot of females suspended in open water, pushing double jigs and minnow rigs. Jeff, it's kind of the same exact thing that I'm doing at Grand Lake, just a double jig rig, but I'm just picking them off one at a time. So Southwest Missouri, though, you got to give up a lake now. Cody Smith, any pointers for Grand Lake? Gosh, Grand Lake is an amazing fishery depending on who you ask. But right now, this time of year, stop at any creek or cove and throw the trolling motor down in 30 to 25 foot of water, or start at the beginning of the cove and slowly work your way back to the cove and get right in the middle or towards any docks. And you'll find just super nice pre-spawn females sitting there. They've kind of separated themselves. And, you know, the males are moving up a little shallower. Females are staying back till it's time. So it's a fun time to catch Grand Lake's big fish right now because they've separated. You don't have to weave through as many small fish. When it gets to be summer, later spawn, or when you're catching them on the bank, you have to weave through a lot of 9 to 11-inch fish to catch the bigger ones. But right now, you don't have to. Probably my favorite time to catch suspended fish. Post spawn fish on fork on the west end. Jerry, I appreciate you jumping in, brother. Talk about a Lake Fork monster, the legend, Lake Fork legend. It's got a little kick to it. Jerry, I actually had a client out not too long ago that tells me he said that he was with Jordan Sanders, and Jordan Sanders told him he's the second best guide in Texas, but the first one's Jerry Hancock. Wister Lake in Oklahoma is the bomb. Ron, I have to agree with you on that. Wister Lake is on fire. It's looking like they're catching a few of them. Cody Smith going to the OCAC tournament. Cody, remind me which one that one is. Are we talking about the Grand Lake one? And I think it's in May. If I can get loose for the day, I definitely will go fish that one. We'll be in a post. We might even be right in the middle of a spawn pattern, so it'll be an interesting tournament. I don't know what to really expect on that one. This time of year would be my favorite time to fish a tournament at Grand. I would be super confident that I have a lot of fish that a lot of people don't know because it's just such a different lake, that I would find bigger fish that a lot of people would know. But when mid to late May, they'll all kind of be doing the same thing. So it'll be a fun, interesting tournament. Now we got two. Maybe Brad's bringing on somebody we don't know about, guys. Sonny Sharp said he saw Brad pulling at the res. Yeah, I just talked to Brad before we went live, and he said they did pretty well pulling. He kind of got on top of a ledge, same ledge that I saw him when I was telling you guys I saw him pulling when I was fishing. He was doing really well. Kind of the same thing. He said he just saw there was a lot more fish when he was using his side scan. He saw there was a lot more fish shallower than he was on his ledge. So he reeled up, tied different, like a lighter setup, and then went shallower and started to catch a few more fish. They had to leave a little early, though. Like you said, the guy wasn't super able to hang in there all day. Hey, Zeke, don't threaten me with a good time, brother. I would love to fish a tournament with you. That'd be funny, people coming saying, Zeke said we're fishing together. Hey, don't I would be way more confident in other lakes than I would at Grand Lake for a tournament due to so many fish being the same size. Right now, though, I'd be more confident than ever. But in another month, it all starts turning into you're going to get into these really big schools of fish and set on them until you hopefully catch the right one. And then, hey, thanks, honey. The wife said I'm doing great, guys, so surely I must be. But, yeah, Zeke, it'll be kind of a luck of the draw deal when Grand hits in the middle of May. Unless there's some shallow, I tell you guys right now, if you can find shallow timber in like 4 to 6 foot of water, you'll catch some giants in May. But it's hard to find that shallow bite. There might be 2 fish on the laydown, but if you find them, they'll be giant. Destin asked for some tips and tricks on staying online for Crappie Connection. How much do you usually spend graphing versus fishing like a new body of water? Brad, I would almost that's a good question. He says, how much time do I spend graphing versus fishing on a new body of water? So say if I go to a new lake for tournament fishing and I'm trying to find fish for the first time, never fished it before, I will look at my graph a lot, especially when I just get to the lake. I'll open it up and sit there a while and look for all my creek channels and bends and stuff that starts looking good to me. If I was a crappie, where would I want to be type of deal? And then I'll go to those areas and say I've got like a 300 or 400 yard stretch that looks good. I'll throw the live scope down, crank the trolling motor up, and just start running through there. And honestly, I can go on that trolling motor almost as fast as you can side scan or down image, and the live scope don't lie. So I throw it down and just scan a bunch of areas like that, unless it's brush pile fishing, but not many tournaments we fish are for brush piles. So it's normally roaming fish or fish on stumps. And I do a lot better scanning for those fish with the live scope. When is the elites on Millwood? Holden, the elites are next week. Practice starts Tuesday, and then the tournament will be next Friday and Saturday. I'm excited, but you never know what to expect. There should be some huge fish caught out of that lake. Even being post-spawn, all those fish will be spawned out, and you'll still see some big weights. I wouldn't be surprised to have 15 to 17 pound stringers 2 days in a row on a dang 2-day tournament. Like I wouldn't surprise me if somebody in particular comes in with 16, 17 pounds a day. Hopefully it's me. Brad says he's going to stop the live and restart it, guys. So we might lose me here. I'm just going to hold on to my seat and see what he's got going on. What's going on, Chad? You're late to the party. We got the Blue Man Band